Hi everyone, this is Jamie. In case you're wondering like what's happening to my face, uh, so I maybe most of you know, maybe not, but I'm quite active on Instagram, or I try to be, and I've been doing this sort of like challenge by Mitchell, who like you really need to know if you're like very deep into the beauty community. But regardless, this is my today's look, so you'll have to live with this face to watch this video. But regardless, it just uh, at the same time while I was thinking like, can I do it with this look? Can I not do this video with this look? I figured that you know what, fuck everyone, and I will do it with this look. So, um, I have been noticing a pattern in general. There's a lot of detransitioners, but the ones that get a bit on my nerves is the first time I heard about them, I was actually joining my gym, and well, the guy who I don't know was telling me all the info was like, actually, we had a trans guy before, and like he said that he's gonna take tea for a bit and then he's gonna go off it, and I was like, okay, that's new, and I kind of forgot about it, to be honest. And then fast forward to now, where anyway, I was just browsing Instagram, so it's like literally like Wikipedia surfing, so it was Instagram browsing, and I came across a non-binary person who identified as a trans guy, and now he's just he pronouns, yeah. Now he's off T, so I was like, all right. And then I read that he also got a hysterectomy, and again, I'm not a medical professional, but I just think that when you do decide such things, you can't just go to a doctor and be like, "Hey, I'm going off T." And specifically in like places like the UK or US, where let's be real, the doctor will do anything you want them to if you have enough money. So I really wanted to address the fact that people have really been sort of on the edge of saying, yeah, but I don't want to be like that guy. And I'm not saying that non-binary is invalid, Jesus fucking Christ, no. And of course, there are non-binary people who still take hormones. There are those who, and it's quite common, like some trans guys go off hormones, non-binary people as well, and then they take them off, but they do it under very, very supervised conditions. So, or for instance, when a trans guy wants to give birth, I knew a trans guy who gave birth twice, so he got off testosterone for those cases, and he was very supervised. So it's not uncommon, but you really need to talk to a doctor. You can't just waltz in and I understand that dysphoria manifests in different ways, right? But I really feel like we need to look at the other side of the coin. Oof. And this is what the people who get off T like really kind of talk about, is the fact that they remain unhappy with the changes on T. And that's what a lot of the reasons detransitioners kind of or TERFs really kind of paddle on trans guys. So what I wanted to say was basically, just because you're unhappy with your changes on T doesn't mean that you can just drop it cold turkey. I know that I've surely spoken about this before, but we really need to, in my opinion, look at places like informed consent, and in general raise awareness about all trans identities, whether they're binary or non-binary, so that the person, let's be real, when we go to referral, we know the questions. and we're always terrified that we won't get tea. Like, even I had the most kind of like basic sorry, book-esque sort of childhood. So everyone which would read my like life story, or like I never lied about that. I literally just went and I was like nearly crying from remembering every fucking memory which brought me dysphoria and etc. But yeah, I did get, for instance, very uncomfortable when I got asked if when I was a child if I peed standing, and I was like, well, yeah, I tried it once. What's the big deal? And it was linked. I don't know how much it was linked towards the decision, but regardless, it felt like um, not the best question, you know? And in general, the more I look, the more I see that a lot of professionals are obviously less informed, because not only we kind of, I can't speak from a non-binary person going on T, obviously, because I'm binary, but there needs to be some sort of consensus. Doctors need to understand that there are non-binary people who want a HRT or who want a surgery, and supervise them for further. Like, for instance, in this guy's case, from what I recall, he just did not want to have, I'm sorry for the medical term, periods, right? Yeah. And then so he had the hysterectomy, and then he went off T, and he's like, he and a bunch of other guys, as I realize it's like a fucking network or whatever, are like recording themselves saying, shedding light onto what happens when you get off T. It's like, sweetie, you shouldn't even have been T on the first place, or you should have talked to your doctor about this. I mean, trans guys are non-binary because I saw both sides, so I'm like making sure that I'm keeping everyone's identity revealed. Anyway, so it's like, because there's a lot of people who are non-binary and discover that they are non-binary after coming out as trans binary, um, they think that basically their experience is very common, and because of that there's a lack of studies, because like from the top of my head I knew those two guys. I didn't even link it for a while. So it's like there's a lot of studies. There's that famous big study about what happens to being on HRT for a very long while, and it's massive, it's being studied and etc. So it's kind of difficult, because if I say stuff like, yeah, um, we should get a lot more assessed to understand if HRT is for us or not. But at the same time, if I were to say that openly, then TERFs can say, see, not everyone is trans in HRT, is bad, blah, 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 bring back our girls, whatever. So it's a very, very difficult situation, to be real with you. I do think that people need an enormous amount of support to understand their identity and what they want to do. Now, about the person's age, oh dear. I can tell you honestly, like, I remember the first time I heard about puberty blockers, I fucking burst crying. I was like, I had no idea this even existed. I literally could have prevented so many years of suffering. So that really fucked me up for a really long while. Because that's the thing. It's not like there is an age limit, right? It's it's the fact that you need to be sure in yourself. And even when you go to assess, sure, you can um, pimp up your dysphoria or whatever, because the waiting times are ridiculous, right? But at the end of the day, you need to understand that what you tell, it's kind of like in court, like everything you say will be used against you, really. So when you go with the decision to get HRT, please be sure that it is for you. There's also stuff like low doses of tea, so you can see if it is even for you. But when you go like, so the guy was like 6 years in tea or something, and he was like, I don't like it because I look old in tea. Like, I understand dysphoria comes in all ways. We've all been there. So the non-binary person. And basically, it was extremely weird to me because I am kind of like a skincare maniac, and I literally have been buying like until like when I go to a pharmacy, I literally go, "What's the anti wrinkle thing you have?" And because I have some knowledge, I kind of always ask, "Is it like that one or like that one?" And I need this one specifically. And this is my skin type. Blah 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 blah. And I usually like to go to like the same pharmacist, which know that I'm crazy a bit about it. And it's like, if you feel like you look old, do you want me to give you my anti-wrinkle routine? Because I'm more than happy to share that. That is no reason to drop tea. Wrinkles are not a reason to drop tea. I'm really sorry. And then that even goes back to the fact of why are we trying? Like, the guy was like roughly my age. I'm gonna be 27, and he was like a year, 2 years younger, I think. And I was like, sweetie, at 25, I didn't even look as youthful as you did, and I was fine. Sure, over time, I started using anti wrinkle stuff. I was taking care of my skin. Um, yeah, I completely get that. But it's like, you won't stay youthful forever. And that kind of plays a lot in the insecurities that we have, really. And I understand that we need to love our bodies, but if there is something that is really, really hurting ourselves, when our bodies are hurting us, you should change. And I'm not saying that, like, I am against the whole, like, love yourself because the body you're in is a temple, blah, blah, blah. Don't mutilate yourself, Buck Angel, going crazy stuff. But you should really understand, what do you want? What do you need? Talk about it to a therapist. Yes, are there enough licensed therapists for dysphoria? Absolutely not. Like right now, I'm experiencing tremendous dysphoria, and I'm literally like just jumping around people to understand how can I accept the fact that my surgeries are very delayed because of COVID. And I was really, really going crazy. That's why I've been like sad on my videos and etc. But you really shouldn't give up, because at the end of the day, it's your health, it's your body, and you really need to reach out for help. You can't just let it pile up for 6 years and then just drop it. I mean, this is a serious medication, and it's in no way should be forbidden from anyone to get it, but it should really be taken with a doctor. And I understand that there's Planned Parenthood, and for many people in the US, that is the only way, or black market, it's the only way for many. So I understand that I'm talking from a very, very high position of privilege in this case. But when you have those resources, because usually it's people in the US, in the UK, which are doing, I'm sorry, this misinformation. And they think they're doing good, but in reality, they're literally, you turn on the video and it's like, yeah, well, binary people are in the box, right? And I'm like, not into boxes. I'm like, okay, I get it, boo, I get it. But the fact that people accept cis people with all of their sort of different aspects of them showing their gender or expression, and then saying that trans guys only fit in this mold and anyone else is non-binary, it's fucking toxic. If we can leave it back to 2020 and even further, that'd be great. So, and in general, the more I see that this whole idea that trans men are better than cis men is coming up again. And in general, the whole men are bad. I am sick of it. Like, it goes down to like my bullying, uh, people not talking to me, people cutting me off, people being harsh to me about it. And I am going through a lot. So it's like, just because you have an issue with men doesn't mean that you get to paint everything bad. So honestly, like, if you have an issue with men and you decide to generalize all the binary guys that I don't know, that we should wear like three-piece suits and wear like neckbeard gentlemen, it's like, seriously, all sort of ideas of putting someone in a box which not they are putting themselves in, but you are, is harmful. And that's why there's so much friction between binary and non-binary people. It's, you can't say, it's like there was this discourse many, many years ago about everyone's bisexual. No, not everyone is bisexual. Some people are actually gay. Some people are actually straight. And same for the binary, all the non-binary genders, and the binary again. So it's like, just because you don't fit in doesn't mean that it doesn't exist. So please sort yourself out before you shit on others. Seriously. And it's getting really, really harmful, like, the more I see. Uh, with this whole idea that men are bad and etc. Like, it's getting to a point where I literally have like a bunch of contacts where I literally have to like help people out because the situation is really getting out of hand. So yeah. So I hope that this video teaches you something, or if you are an asshat who thinks I'm wrong, I understand everyone has their opinions, but if you think that you can impose something on others, go fuck yourself. So the lesson today is, do not compare your experiences to others, which is very, very simple, because everyone has a different way of seeing life, of anything really, and their approach to HRT. So when you do something which just takes a simple couple Google searches, which says, what are the effects if I go off tea? And it says you lose fucking bone mass, which can lead to very, very critical things, maybe it's something you shouldn't do. And ask other people about it, specifically doctors. So I am really ticked off about this happening. I've been watching the situation in the UK. I've been watching the situation in the US. I've been watching the situation fucking everywhere, and I wanna fucking deck everyone. So, also another thing, if you think that I'm non-binary, I'm as binary as every guy you've ever seen. Just because I wear a bit of makeup doesn't make me non-binary. I do not identify as non-binary. So, just because I don't align with your ridiculous view of what a guy should and shouldn't do, that doesn't make me less of a guy. So yeah. Thank you. And those who are gonna put a dislike or whatever, go fuck yourself. You're just gonna make my day happier. Bye.